Welcome to another episode of Pure Transparency. We're your host,
Egubumi.
Anayali Jenny.
Today's episode is brought to you by Ataraxis, a place of unity, peace, and growth. Today's topic is who decides the council culture? Who decides on this mass counseling of people? And it's such a toxic online trend. Why is it that we follow suit with these suggested people? We still don't know who's behind it, but it's been, from what I'm reading, that it's been a situation that we don't like you, or we don't like your views, or we don't like the things that you said, and they actually cancel out this person to the point that it affects their livelihood, and it's to control their behavior and cause them to align up with social norm. But who determines what is the social norm? And I won't even be surprised if it's just like some random I was about to say something very prejudiced, but I will not say it. But I just think, who's behind it? Like, how do you decide that my views are not good enough and that you would counsel me for my livelihood in order to control my behavior? Who are you? Who left you king or queen over deciding what is right and what is wrong? And the sad part about it is this canceling of uh, culture is to reinforce the norm. But who determines what the norm is? And then on that, you actually took people, stars, famous people, because of this cancel culture, and you literally caused them not to earn any money because us as a following actually is taking heed instead of standing up. And it's just like, who are you? Why do you get to determine what is normal for us? And I pass the mic to Emperor Nye.
Oh, I was enjoying being quiet for it. Nah. Um,
Oh,
but
now we
it,
got jokes. Oh, what we not gonna do,
look,
sir, sir.
so
Uh-huh.
the cancel culture ain't nothing but passive aggressive bullying, right? But
Speak.
it's been around for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is now that it's social media based, they try to
Mm-hmm.
get the people behind it. You ever heard of the story of if you ever want to take over people mindset, if you ever want to
Mm-hmm.
take over people, if you do it with aggression, they'll fight back and rebel, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what you do is you make you put in their mind that they need something, right? Or let's
Mm-hmm.
just coronavirus, and then you say, instead of saying, "Hey, come take these needles," right? Come get
Mm-hmm.
this, come get that. Then they go and say, "Oh, yeah, we need this for our safety." But the
Mm.
comment. Now we can have a long talk about the coronavirus and all that, and you need these shots for these, this, and that, and the third. But common sense ain't common.
And
Whether
that's
you
so
have,
true.
whether you don't have the shot, it's the same shit, right? Common sense ain't
Mm-hmm.
common. But then it's crazy because the same thing they tell you in the beginning, they be like, "Oh, you need the shot to dumb down our
Mm-hmm.
numbers. Oh, now
Mm-hmm.
you need the second shot so you can be
Mm-hmm.
more. Oh, now you need a booster. Now you need the third booster. Like, why you need all this? You just told
Why do
me
you need
if I
that?
take 2 shots, I'm good. Do you get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But if
Mm-hmm.
they would came out in the beginning and said, "Hey, take these shots," everybody
Right.
would in the beginning. So
Right.
coronavirus happened. Now take these shots. You need this because of coronavirus. But common sense ain't common. That's another story. But I put that into theory. It's the same way with everything else. And if you
Mm-hmm.
go and say, "We're going to cancel Dave Chappelle," you know, then everybody going to rebel and say, "No." Da, 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 da. But now you're going to say, "Oh, Dave Chappelle is transphobic. He's transphobic." You da, da, da,
Transphobic.
da, da. Yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
try to push a narrative. And then now everybody feel bad because when you say transphobic, right? Everybody's supposed to be feel bad. But we don't do that. I don't never hear cancel culture on, movies for degrading black men. I don't never
Mm.
hear cancel culture for movies on degrading black women. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
yet our people follow behind these Caucasian trends to cancel our people. Because I never heard cancel culture in country music, even though we started country music. I never
Let's talk
hear
about it.
cancel
Right.
culture in all these. Hell, why ain't nobody canceling Disney? Disney is full of pedophiles. The actual work for seriously, that
Yeah.
actually work for Disney. Like just 2 years ago, they did a sting at Disney that the higher up people was running pedophile rings and they got arrested. Why ain't
I
nobody
heard it.
canceled Disney yet? Nobody canceled the
Exactly.
magical world of Disney. Nobody canceled Disney movies. Nobody canceled none of that, right? You trying to cancel individuals instead of trying to cancel corporations that's making money off of you. And then they sell some they'll take your sting and then they'll sell it back to you at a higher cost. But nobody's canceling that. Nobody
Nobody's
ev-
canceling that.
everybody got in they bought into this idea, right?
Mm-hmm.
That
Mm-hmm.
people are better than you. But you ain't canceling that. Oh,
Exactly.
they got money. They got money. We want to be like those people. But they taking money from you. They're taking money from you. They're nothing without you. But yet you want to be like them? What? To be a
Right.
leech off of the poor people? Because if
Right.
you think about it, the government, everybody in the government got a job for life, basically, right? They making so
Mm-hmm.
much money, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are the
Mm-hmm.
people you like, oh, I want to vote in, vote in, vote in. But nobody in the government ever name one time because it's easy. Like, cause they can get billions of dollars to other countries, right?
Right.
Tell me why can't they just stop poverty? Oh, that's different. Does it? No, it's not. If you can
But
give a
it's not.
billion something dollars to another country just handing over resources, right? Because that's what money is resource. You're handing over
Basically.
resource, free resource that you can't give to your own people. But nobody canceling that culture.
Exactly. Exactly. Nobody's canceling um a certain ethnic group stealing creativity, skits, or music and converting it into their own when you know the original was this. We didn't cancel for that. We didn't cancel for all these things that have been motivated by people of color and now is being marketed by Caucasians and the
Mm,
bright privilege that they live on. That hasn't been canceled. But we're going to choose to what we perceive as normal because somebody else's view is outside of what we think it should be, and now we're going to cancel that. But you got all these other things that need to be canceled, literally,
mm-hmm.
literally. But we choose not to do that. Yeah, okay. I think that's kind of interesting, and I'm curious to know who are behind this cancellation. Who says, you know what? I didn't like the way you said that. We're going to cancel you.
Yeah.
B.
It,
Simone was canceled for giving her perspective of what she wanted in her life, and they canceled her for that, supposedly. So it's just like, how did you cancel her for having her own thought? Because it wasn't what you thought, or it wasn't perceived that that was a normal train of thought for a woman of color
mm-hmm.
who
Because
has made herself a self millionaire. Yeah,
it's
wow.
more on this. It's more so it's people pushing a narrative, you know. So if let's say if a Coots Club man came to me and was like white power, white this,
Hmm.
white that,
Hmm.
white this, I'm not mad at dude. Why?
Same.
Because that's what he believe in. As
Hmm.
long as what he believe in don't affect me and mine and my
Hmm.
people, I'm
Hmm.
cool. I'm cool with the KKK talking about white power, this and that, because it's the same thing we do when we're talking about black power. The only difference is you are oppressing us. Because if you was never oppressing us, we would never have a problem.
That is
If you
true.
was just like, hey, white power, white power, white power over there, we cool. but you are doing white power in the name of oppressing other people. We're doing black power in the name of uplifting us,
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
putting anybody else down. That's two different narratives. So when they pushing the cancel culture, they're pushing the cancel culture. And I'm not just saying it's Caucasians, because some of our people push this same movement for a benefit. But when you pushing this cancel culture, you're pushing it in the form of, I'm benefiting off of this to oppress other people, not to lift anybody up. You want to impress people. It's just like, if you look at, rap music, right? No one want to cancel, all the executives in rap music that's, what I'm saying, that's sitting up there controlling our music to turn it into dumb music. They took all the logical music out and just put
Mhm.
in a whole bunch of violence, degrading bullshit.
Mhm.
Every 90 I would say 99% of rap music nowadays is bullshit. People can be like,
Mhm.
but Kendra Lamar and blah 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 and blah blah blah. Guess what? They give you the bullshit too. Cause why? They need to do the bullshit to stay there, stay
To
relevant.
stay
But
relevant.
they
Yeah.
might do nuggets here and there, but everything else is bullshit. You know? My thing about it is, if if our people, we're speaking for our people in general, the
Mhm.
saddest thing about it is, for decades, we all could have been in a better place, but
That's
we
true.
choose not, because we sit over here and want to push. They give us narratives to push, and we push it. Look at
And
the
we
narrative.
do. Yes.
Look at the narrative. We arguing amongst self about self love, and then got the audacity to say we love ourselves. But yet you be like, oh, I love our sisters. I love my black woman, or my rural ebony women. But then you dating a white woman, or Asian. How can you love someone? Because when you love something, right, that is
Mhm.
beautiful to you. So
Mhm.
if you like, no, I'm not attracted to that. That you can't
Mhm.
say that you love that. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? If you're not attracted to it. If I don't like cats, right? I would
Mhm.
deal with a cat. But guess
Mhm.
what? My first thing, if I'm going to get a pet, I'll get a dog, right? So, but I'm not
Right.
going to sit over there and say, oh, I love cats. And I would not take home a cat that saved my life. You get what I'm saying? That's just me.
Make it make
So I
sense.
live in I live in common sense. Don't
Mhm.
sit over there. These people, like, even, what's the lady that's going, what's she going to be, a councilman?
The judge. You talk about the
Yeah, the
judge.
judge, right?
Mhm.
I love my
Mhm.
black sister. I do.
Mhm.
And I was
Mhm.
all 100% support. Support, support, support. Then I found out who she was white, who she was married to. And then I'm like, I still support, but I don't support 100%. You get what I mean? And this is just me. It's not canceling you. I want you to get the job, right?
Mhm.
But I know
Mhm.
you ain't going to do shit for our people. You get what I'm
Mm.
saying? That's the
Mhm.
difference. So people's like, no, you support because you're black. Being being skin folk is just half the battle. What people don't realize. Being the skin folk is, that's like 35% of the battle. That's not 100%, because these skin folk people get in these positions and do nothing for you. They don't realize, like I said, common sense ain't common. A lot of people that they outside of their race, that's in our culture, only deal with people outside of their race.
That is
Look at
true.
their friends. They
That
always
is
hang
true.
around more white people, more Caucasians, more Asians, or whatever, right? And I'm not being racist. I'm just stating facts. You don't hang around people that look like you. And the ones that, and when you do hang around people that look like you, right? They're dating outside their race too. You get what I'm saying? So you so far gone, you're untouched. You're not in touch with us. So your views go with people that you're around. So
That
when
is
you
true.
see those people talking about, look at, what's a Herschel Walker talking about, what's clear, what's the race theory. And I was like,
Clerical race
teaching,
theory.
yeah,
Mhm.
right. But
Mhm.
he talking about, what is that? We all one people. We're not one
No, we're
people
not.
until they start treating us like people.
They don't see
When
us
they
as
treat us
human.
like people,
Mhm.
then we could be one people. We
Mm-hmm.
can all be one, but we
Mm-hmm.
can't get to four if we didn't even get started on one yet, and then
And
two,
that's
then
real.
three, then four.
Right.
You want to go to
Right.
four? Be realistic. Your people are suffering. Like, damn, they beat up our kids, and yet when you beat your child, it's a problem.
Six
Oh,
nine
we're
six
gonna take your
kids.
kid away. Right.
Exactly.
But then they'll
Yeah.
go grown ass men and women will punch on your damn teenagers and your kids and
Sit
embarrass
on
your
their neck.
children.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
then it's nothing. No,
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing. They won't do that to a Caucasian child. They
No, they
won't
would
do that to
not.
a little Asian. Hell,
Mm-hmm.
look, hey, even though I condone violence, fuck it, I don't care. I do condone violence because sometimes violence is necessary. But
Very
my
so much
thing
so.
about senseless violence is not necessary.
It's
My thing
not.
about it is when they was pushing the narrative, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, about Asian hate, right? But they'll put it on black people. Black people out, they're beating up. But didn't a Caucasian man go in there and shoot in two spots, shoot up, and they was trying to kill that story. They wasn't even trying to talk about it, right? It's all a narrative. I don't
Mm.
even know why our people still watch the news. Why are you watching their news when you can go and
Addicted.
create your own news because that's their narrative? But go ahead.
Addicted. Force a habit. You know what I mean? And force a habit and feel like, and then not only that, when you really come to the realization that what you're listening at called news is not even majority of the truth.
Hmm.
See what I'm saying? So you made some valid points, but what I want to hew in on is that how is it that you say you love your people, but yet and still you're in agreement when it comes to canceling somebody that look like you, and those very people are the ones that we swear we was in love with them in the beginning. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So in love with them. Oh, they're the great black hope. Keep it real. And then all of a sudden, the society decides that they're not perceived to be the norm, and they views and they're behaving that's against the norm, and yet still we blackball them. I think it's interesting that people say I love my people and yet date outside of their race. And I don't get me wrong, I am in a my family is interracial. So don't hear me what I'm saying. I don't hate no one at all. I can't. My family is interracial. But what I think is interesting is that you have all these men and women that campaign, oh, black, 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 but yet and still
You don't see
you
black in love.
no. And
Mm.
it did, and don't get me wrong, I get the whole theory that love knows no color. I'm a witness of that. I see that in my family, right? But yet and still, I'm looking at stories of these same people that marry outside of their race getting killed by these very people, right? So is that love then? And I'm not
No.
saying they wouldn't be able to be, they wouldn't have got killed by a black person. I'm not saying that. I'm saying is that we have to get out of this mentality of we love and support our people if we really don't love and support our people. Now, don't get me
Exactly.
wrong, it's some cool white folks that's really down for us, right?
Hmm.
That actually will be more loyal to you than your skin folk.
Their own
Let's just be
people.
honest. Let's just be honest. It's some rocking with us like that.
Hmm.
But where are those? Them are not the people that you're marrying, though.
Right.
You're marrying
So
people that's wearing you like a trophy.
exactly. So the saddest thing about it is, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, like this, it's not being, and it what keep coming in my head is that comment of the dude talking about y'all racist. It's not about being racist. It's about actually being truthful. You know what I mean? Because even though there's some ain't shit people in our culture, right? But there's some ain't shit people in the Caucasian culture. There's a lot, right? And there's
Especially.
some people that use and be a leech to our culture to benefit.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they got what they got out of our culture, they go
Mm-hmm.
back to their culture as if they ain't never touched that, right?
Huh.
Let's say prime example, Kardashian, right? Oh, y'all want to watch their show, y'all want to support them, oh, blah blah blah. But I'm like, if you didn't, their whole family exploit our culture.
Except
You know,
Courtney. Courtney is lily
they're.
white.
Let me tell you something, okay? Their whole family exploit our culture.
I'm sticking up for
They
Courtney.
when they date, right?
She is lily
They're not
white.
dating. They're not dating because they love black men. They're
It's
dating
clout.
because the black men got clout and they got
Hmm.
money,
Hmm.
right? This is
Hmm.
what they're looking for because they know, like, yo, no matter what, because if they really was in love with a black man, the
Hmm.
money shouldn't matter, especially
That's
when you
true.
make your own money. You get what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
Why
That's
why
true.
are you only looking for basketball players? Why are you looking for athletes, rappers? This is you looking for people that's up that's on a certain level. And then some people going to be like, "Well, that's her standard." No, sometimes your standards are driven by your own perspective and
That's
saying
true.
that this is what you want. You're not going for love. You're going for a status. And once you reach your status, you go and say, "You know what? I got my status. My husband dead now. My wife going now. I got her money. I got his money, and I'm going. And I'm going to date my race." You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And why aren't they canceled?
They're not canceled because
Why aren't
why?
they part of the cancel
But
culture?
but you want to know why? And I know our people going to hate when I say this though, and this is a true fact. Our people has became the 100% followers. We
Mm.
we follow movements. We stop creating movement. When we created this, yeah, that was old. We don't create movements no more. We
We
follow
don't.
movement. We
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 do.
attach ourselves to movements that don't benefit us. We attach ourselves to a lifestyle that don't benefit us. We attach
Mm.
ourselves to mindset that don't benefit us. Hell, the woman movement. The woman movement didn't have shit to do with black women, but
Women
black women
rights
joined that
movement.
damn movement. Right.
Yeah. We was
They
just a
joined that
face.
movement, and you see what it did? It fucked up our family.
It
Let's
did.
talk about men. Men, we sit over here and we want to join in on nah, oh, black women ain't shit movement. Let's get a white girl movement. That was like the late 90s, early 2000s. Fucked up our family, right? And then now, look at it. A lot of our women don't even want to be bothered with us. Why? Because in the movies and they all they show is black men can't protect their family. Black men don't have jobs. And all these narratives, and guess what? People suddenly thinking that's the truth. And then now, what do you see? Mostly a black woman with a white man. Oh, they run to their Trojan. Oh,
Mm.
there's no worth in no black man no more. That's the mindset. There's no worth in no black woman no more. That's the mindset. Now y'all start following people like Kevin Samuel that degrade black women right in
He's
front of you,
gay.
and he's dead.
He's
Oh,
gay.
he's gay. Yeah, he's gay. Like, but look at it. But whether he's gay or not, he's not speaking positive or uplifting. Hell, the dude that got caught cheating that y'all canceled, y'all should have canceled. Like he using anybody. Let me put common sense to a narrative, right? Even if it's me, if I'm sitting up here and telling you, oh, black men ain't shit, women, you need to do this, do that, that. I am not doing this to help you. I'm doing this so you can listen and pay and buy my shit. When they say all women, oh, think like a man, but they don't have think like a woman. Do you get what I'm saying? There's no balance. If there's no balance in anything that anybody is saying, why are you
Hmm.
listening?
Why are you listening? And why
Why?
can't
Because
why why
no, go ahead. Why can't you what?
but 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 you will listen to why can't you listen to what makes sense opposed to listen to what does not make sense? And that's
Because
what you
people choose to
focus
follow.
on.
People choose to follow. They go with what have the most likes. They go with what have the most views. Oh, oh, TikTok. Let's go on Instagram and download. Hell, there's a song on Instagram, and I was just amazed that when I click on the song in the video and I'm looking at how many Royal Ebony women are dancing to this song, right?
Which song?
And the song says, keyword, ain't too pretty in the face, but she's super thick. I'm just thinking with my dick. My dick
Mm-hmm.
dumb, right? Now me, when I heard that, I was like, I'm a guy. I'm like, I get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm like, why do our women dance to degrading music? Oh, it's not about the music, it's about the song. No, that song is degrading you. It's degrading you. So why the fuck are you supporting it? If you want to change, this is why I always say, if our culture want to change, it starts with our women. Why? Because if you don't support that type of shit, that's what he's going to do. The rappers
Exactly.
is going to start making music that what pertain to you. Now they know that they can make degrading music, they can make fuck you bitch music, and you're still going to dance to it because it got to be. I'm still making money and I ain't got to respect you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it starts with you. We as men follow our women, and if our women is sitting up there leading us into the dumpster, we're gonna follow their asses in the dumpster. Why? Because as black men, I'm not going to call us all imbeciles, but we secretly look up to our women, and we always
Mm,
want to repress our women. We always want to be that standard for our women. So whatever, however our women think that's a standard, we're gonna try that. Whoa, they wanted a roughneck. What happened? Everybody started sagging their pants and being a thug, even though they wasn't a thug. Oh, then our women wanted men with beards. You see that beard gang? Beard gang. Everybody wanted to grow out their beard all of a sudden. We follow.
I
Y'all
appreciate
lead.
that.
You get what I'm saying? But we
Mm-hmm.
follow y'all lead. And they don't understand a lot of our women. They're like, no, the men need to change. Men are never going to change because y'all don't change. We follow our women lead. Do you get what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
that's the bad thing about it. Bad
Mm-hmm.
thing about it is when we get a collective of our women to say,
Mm-hmm.
yo, nah, we're going to hold you to a standard. Going on a
Mm,
date with me, we're going to hold you to a standard.
mm-hmm.
Talking to me and wasting my time, we're going to hold you to a standard. Being a family person with me, we're going to hold you to a standard. I heard on the radio the other day about a man just had an 8-month-old baby. And this nigga, oh, sorry, I'm not going to say nigga, but this dude, he thought it was cool to call in and say, hey, I have a standard in women. Back on here trying to date other women. Oh, the last time I called, I didn't really get what because they was not my type of woman. But dude, you got an 8-month-old baby. Why the fuck you thinking about dating someone else? You should think about, yo, let me make sure that my 8-month-old baby is good. Hell, I know from personal experience after having a baby with a woman and she's not right and she's like toxic as hell, right? But I'm not gonna leave her the first year unless she's trying to kill me. You know what I'm saying? Because I
Literally.
want to wake up with my 8-month-old baby. I want to go to sleep with my 8-month-old baby. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's the moral aspect in our culture to speak facts. We don't have morals. We don't have standards. All
And
that shit.
but
We allowed. Hold on. This. Hold on. We allow other races to come and get rid of that shit. And the reason why they got rid of it is because we put other races in positions, high positions. If we put them over our music, we put them over our TV shows, our movies. We put them over how our families, how we treat our family. This is like getting courts involved all the damn time. They control your family narrative. Get in courts with your kids, get in court, divorce court, you know what I'm saying? Police officers. We are putting people in charge of us and subconsciously. And you don't even know it. rather
Mm-hmm.
than just sitting there and being an adult and say, yo, the alternatives are all shit. Let's talk. Let's fix this shit. We don't have to be together, but we have to respect each other. My kid's mother, to be honest with you, and people was like, do you hate her? I said, no, I don't hate her. And do you talk to her? I said, no, there ain't no point in talk to her. But I wouldn't wish ill on her for nothing. If she's in dire need, I would make sure that she's good because she's a Nubian woman. Do you get what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And she bared my children. I had to tell my boy. He's sitting up there and he's like, man, me and mom got into it. What the fuck you mean you got into it? Are you paying any bills? Mind you, she cannot get along with me to save her life, right? So my thing about it is some people be like, oh well, no, you don't pay no bills at your mama house. Why you getting it? Why you feel that you and your mom are equals? You shouldn't be getting
Mm-hmm.
into anything. These are
Mm-hmm.
things we got to hold accountable. I hold my children accountable. Nah, you stay in your lane. Nah, I'm not your friend. I'm going to support your mother, even though your mother don't support me. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
show the narrative that I am trying to enforce, saying there needs to be a standard. There needs to be structure.
And that needs to be our norm.
And
That whole
yes,
constructive of thought needs to be our norm.
it
I
used to be our
understand
norm.
that. Yeah,
It's just not our norm anymore.
and that's because we're getting. And it's so funny because they push us with the narrative, like you said, further away from our morals and our views to implement it for their own family.
Hmm.
And that's the sad part about it. And we don't see that happening, but some of us see it. You know what I mean? And so that we're seeing it, but yet and still we're not discussing it. We're not talking about it. We're not calling it out. Nobody is using their platforms. And it's so funny because we talk about the cancel culture, honey, they've been trying to cancel us for centuries. And they're
Hmm.
and they're mostly close because a lot of our people are stop dating our people to date other races to create biracial children. And these poor children are being counseled within their own race because they're not just
Right.
black and they're just not white. So they're
Hmm.
not being accepted from either one. So therefore they got to create their own lane. And that's not cool. We need to counsel that. Biracial means that you should be accepted in both
Go communities.
races. And I mean, come on, that's so blatantly race is seriously like so your
We need
grandparents
to.
don't accept you because you're
Mhm.
black, but yet and still your black family don't accept you because you got white. It's stupid.
Right.
And these biracial kids, these children and adults have scars from their freaking families and being told their mother is teaching them how to survive as a Caucasian woman, and it does
Hmm.
not apply when they actually
Apply
are
to them.
released from the household and when they realize that I'm not just white, I'm actually being treated like I'm full black.
Black.
We need
Hmm.
to counsel that. We need to counsel us as a people need to counsel mistreating. That's the culture that needs to be counseled. Mistreating biracial children and embrace them because at the end of the day, they're going to be viewed as black.
We need to
Doesn't
stop
matter what they're written.
mistreating. But the thing about it is, we need to stop mistreating us as a whole. I don't care if it's
For
biracial.
sure.
I don't care if it's full. We need. If you look at it, right? We we sit up there and make Tyrese a meme because he didn't see his child in 2 years. But let him sit over here and be like, I ain't gonna pay for that child. I'm not gonna do that. You gonna call him a deadbeat. But he's breaking down because he's missed his children. And this is what our men, our Nubian men go through yearly, daily, missing our children,
Not just
missing
men.
it, and it's not just men. It's not.
Hmm.
I'm just talking about the percentage, right? And people find this to be funny, and it's not, because somebody take your children. I don't care who it is. It's not going to be funny when people laughing at Will and then talking about, oh, Will just ruined his career. Do you think he give two fucks? He don't. You want to know why? Because he's being laughed at 24/7.
For
Imagine you
years.
being mistreated in a relationship, but then The whole world know that you're being mistreated, and then they don't give a fuck that you're being mistreated. They're laughing at you. So you're gonna feel like you need to just say, you know what, fuck it, and then now you're in a good space with your partner. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, but you're in a good space with your partner, right? And wherever space that is. But then people trying to drag you back to being in that dark space where you was. No, you ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna accept that. So people gotta understand, like he's a comedian. It's jokes. All jokes ain't funny. That's called verbally bullying. You're verbal bullying a person. Like,
Because it's
come
a
on, dude. You
verbal
can't
doesn't mean
say,
that's not a hit. It's still a hit,
yeah. It's still a
whether
hit.
it's
You
physical
mean
or
to
not.
tell
It's
me that you?
verbal.
You mean to tell me that you're a comedian, but you can't tell any other jokes? Nothing else is funny. You
So
just
you
taking
had
easy shots.
a room full of people, and
Yeah.
half of these people got shit to talk about though. Like you got real material on a whole lot of people. You chose
Mm-hmm.
her, but what I keep telling everybody, I see all these posts and everything, and it boils my blood. They've been having this issue since 2000 and freaking 16, 13 or 16 with this
No, they've
him
been having
always
this issue
hackling
until
since
since
he
since
always hackled
2010.
Okay, 2010, stand corrected. He's been
Mm-hmm.
heckling her since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
This is not just no one incident, and people killing me with all this judgmental calls and calling them out. Or if it would have been me, you wouldn't have did shit. At the end of the day, Will has had this conversation with this man who has been in his personal space, has worked with him, and this continues to be the same situation. Enough is enough. And everyone's like, but he laughed. I laugh too when I'm pissed. When I know I'm about to fuck you up, excuse my mouth, babe.
But everybody do.
I'm gonna laugh because this is
Everybody, everybody be
oh,
like,
you
yo,
think this is a
but
game.
right,
Okay.
but they,
Yeah.
it's funny. It's funny when people like to dissect other people's issues, but then when they have issues, they want everybody else to stay out of it.
The gaslighting.
Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, no, stay
Hmm.
out. If you want people to stay out of your issues, stay out of other people's issues. Like me,
It's just that simple.
when people talk about Will Smith and they want to do this and do that, I don't care. I don't even watch those videos. I don't care. That's that man life. Okay, he smacked another man. If they dealt with it, they dealt with it. They ain't got shit to do with me. The dude didn't smack me because I wouldn't care where I was. I'm not saying I would scrapped him, but me, I would just handle that situation differently. Because I wouldn't have went up and smacked him. I went up there and whispered in his ear and told him, I might would have said,
Keep
yo,
my wife out your
keep,
motherfucking mouth.
yeah. I'll be like, yo, chill on that or I won't have to fuck you up.
But
You know what I'm
see, here's
saying?
the
And I don't
thing.
want to do that. So,
If he did it publicly, and you have been told multiple times to chill on that shit,
but
because you
this is
just
the
did it
thing.
in 2020. You just did it in
But this is the thing.
2020. We had a
But
discussion,
this is,
bro.
but this is the thing. If I go up, if I was bossed up to go up on stage and tell you in your ear, chill on that shit, or I'll fuck you up, right? Or I'll fuck you up, and you stop. And I go back and calmly take my seat. I did four things. For one, I didn't give the world more memes and more shit to talk
Who
about.
gives a shit about
People
that
are,
shit?
but just listen, just listen. For two, I didn't degrade everybody else that was doing like Samuel Jackson. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take away from
Was
their
that really a
moment. Hold on.
degrade though?
It took away from their moment because guess what? Everybody, Caucasian, black, whatever, guess what? It took away from everybody moment because
Did
that's
it
the only
really?
thing yeah, that's the only thing people talk about on that Oscar. Do you hear? It's been a
That's so
week.
funny.
It's been a week. Did you hear anything else about that Oscars besides that smack?
Here's the thing. First of
No,
all,
no, no, no,
the
no,
fact
no,
that we
no.
went back to the Oscars is funny to
Yeah.
me. But at the end of the day, I personally don't
Hmm.
care.
Yeah.
Because what you seen was a man take up for his wife. Whatever anybody think about it, I don't. At the end of the day,
But why cancel him though? Like this is the thing. Why cancel him? Whoa, oh, because he smacked somebody. But how
they
many white people
canceled
came
him
over and
because
smacked
he
somebody?
smacked Chris Rock. That's why they canceled him. They didn't care to the fact that this man was ripping on his wife, or he was laughing. He was laughing in fucking disbelief. No, you're not. It's okay if you, because he was talking about him in the beginning. That's where you
Mm,
seen the laughter. But when he looked over and realized that he was talking about his wife, oh nigga, you ain't went too far. At the
mm,
end of the day, I don't care about anybody else's moment. Cause fuck them. I gotta go home with her. This is my
right.
wife that you and I continually have had discussions about. You have been
Mm,
openly put, tearing her down
mm,
publicly for years, and then you had the audacity to do it in my face.
mm.
Fuck all of
No,
that.
I
I
get
don't
it.
care about
I
Samuel's.
get it.
I don't. But that's taken away from their moment, bro. What took away from their moment is that, and this year so happened everybody black now got Oscars, right?
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
And it's kind of
But they
funny
didn't
that you
even
think
really
that
get
that
Oscars. They got participation trophy.
so keep it real. I really didn't take nothing away from you because you didn't get one. So
Yeah,
calm
they
down.
got
At the
participation.
end of the
If
day,
you see what they got Oscars for, their participation trophy. You get what I mean? Like,
and
doesn't
here's my
you know? Yeah.
thing. We're highlighting him smacking, but not what Chris Rock did. And then to have Chris Rock in interviews like he's innocent.
No,
Negro,
I'd say they both
miss me
wrong
with the
though.
bullshit. I don't think they both wrong. He's wrong. Because I have told you repeatedly from 2010 back off my wife, you think I'm a joke because I keep coming to you like everybody thought I should and not realizing that he has been doing it since 2010.
But
Now it's
this
time
is
for
the reason
action
why I think.
because my words
But
don't mean nothing to you.
but it's still the same
Clearly.
thing. But why I believe that they were wrong is because everybody can handle situations different. And my thing about it, even like when we build in Ataraxis, right? There's gonna be
Correct.
people that want to say something, and then and if it leads to go ahead and progress, because I'm gonna be honest with you, like a dude like me, I couldn't been Chris Rock because I knew that this dude, like first for me speaking, now I'm inviting him to the clown circus, right? So then he comes to the clown circus and he smacks me. Now that's another act, right? Because all that is entertaining other folks. Do you get what I'm saying? Then now he smacked me. Now I got to punch him in his face, right? Now
Oh,
everybody got something to say because now I just beat the brakes off this dude, right? My thing about it is, what I'm saying to you is, you always have to figure out a different alternative because I'm just going to be honest with you. If we don't figure out different alternatives on speaking, on putting each other down verbally or hitting each other verbally, physically, then guess what? We're always going to stay in the same place. When we be
but I
like,
think you're
oh,
missing the
but he
point that
needs,
he has done that though. See, you're
I
talking as if he
understand that.
never has
No,
given them that
no,
opportunity because you
no.
said there's
What I'm,
different ways to handle things and he has
no,
handled it in different
no.
manners. This was the
What,
last resort.
but this is the thing. If I would have heard his pockets more, if I would sit up there and say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to sue you for that joke. Do you get what I'm saying? You,
Just
but
past
you
that.
you got to understand. You got to understand the same thing like this. Okay, so if I came into your house, right? Came into your house and I brought you a pizza. I was the delivery man, right? Came into your house and you never tipped me, never tipped me. So on the third day or fourth day, when you don't tip me, I go and take your pot plant off your porch. Does that make me right?
No, that makes you a dead ass.
But it doesn't make me right.
Makes you a dead ass. That's apple and oranges. That's totally two different
No, it's
situations. We're
not
talking,
apple and
but
oranges. What I'm saying is the situation, no matter what the situation is, if there's no progression, there's zero progression, guess what? It's all for nothing. Yes, there's been times where, a police officer grabbed me and put their hands on me and I fought
mm-hmm,
them. I won
Mhm.
the fight, but I lost
Mhm.
the war because I got arrested. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But then I can sit up there, nah, they don't touch me. But guess what? My damn criminal record is going up and up and up. Do you get what I'm saying? Like
Once
my
again.
assaults. No, what there have been times people been saying, "Oh, this and that and the third," and then now I beat the brakes off this dude, and now I get arrested for it. Was it worth it?
Yes.
That's not Apple.
Cause you.
No, it's
Yes.
not.
Yes.
It's not worth it. You want to know why
Yes,
it's
it
worth it?
is.
Because
It's
you
worth
you
it.
would risk losing. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. If he would have pressed charges, right? If Chris Rock would have pressed charges, or the whoever running the Oscar, if they was being ran by would press charges. Now I need you to listen to me. I need you to listen to me. If they would have pressed charges, right? And you saying you don't care because you're not there, right? So
I
once you press charges, now with
definitely
the
wouldn't
case,
care.
you're in the hand. Hold on. Now you're in the hands of the judge. Now the judge, for their status, they can pick. You're going to lose between $100,000 and more. They're not going to
That
say,
has
"Oh, we're
nothing
going
to
to
do
find
with
you."
that.
No,
We're talking
it
about we're
does.
talking,
It
but it doesn't because at
it
the end of the day, we
does.
are talking
You're
about
willing that one smack could have cost you $100,000.
who
Whatever
cares?
the judge would have did,
Who
that's
cares? I
loss.
could have lost my. I could have lost. First of all, once
If
again,
I if
we're
I would have
talking.
lost my wife, if I would have lost my wife for sitting up there, going up there, and telling him, "Yo, don't talk about it," and
It
go
ain't
sit
happen that
down.
way though.
But
It ain't happen that way.
it should have. That's
But
all I'm
no,
saying.
it shouldn't have had. You can't make that determination. At the end of the
Why?
day, if I'm having that say, because I'm having the same conversation with you since 2010, bro. I have took that road with you since 2010.
So you
So
willing to lose
therefore, did he lose
to feel
really?
like you won and won? No, he
Did he
didn't,
really
but he
lose?
could have
Because
lost.
at the end of the day, here's the thing: we chose a trophy nigga to make a dig at a black woman, right? And at the
Hmm.
end of the day, this is a conversation you and I have had. When he read that teleprompter and he realized that dig was on her, he should have stopped saying, "No, I'm not about to say that." He could have changed that whole scenario. He chose not to, especially after he have had this conversation with Will numerous of times,
I
and you
understand that.
chose not to. So therefore, you chose your consequence. Because once again, stop looking at me like a joke. Now, everybody, the world don't know Will Smith. Chris Rock knows Will Smith. They
I
have
understand.
had conversations. Words have been exchanged. So at that point, let the rocks fall where
So
they fall.
I have a
And
question
the
for you.
rock did fall.
I have a question for you. So if I had a woman, right? I just recently watched this movie with Ben Affleck, and I forget what it's called. And
I
his
love Ben.
wife was she was a tater tot, you know?
A
She
tater
was
tot? I don't know
yeah,
what that means.
she was bouncing everywhere, you know? You know how tater tot fall and the bounce rolls, whatever, you
I
know.
don't get the
But that's
scenario. I don't get it.
basically she was a
She
thought
was a
body.
whore? Okay.
Yeah. So she would have one friend, the friend would leave, and then she'll go get another. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So, and
Mhm.
she'll always bring them home, and always this and that and the third, right? Ben Affleck would, in turn, would be killing these people. So he's risking it all for this woman, right?
Mhm.
Just like you said, Will Smith. It's we're gonna risk it all. So Will Smith risking it all because I done told him. So now if Ben Affleck went to jail, this woman would still been out there on that. And how many men then killed men because their wife cheated on them or their girl cheated on them, and now they locked up with a whole bunch of men while their girls or wives that they cheated that they was trying to defend for or be like that's mine is out there with other people.
So here's my thing.
So you
That's
mean,
apple to
hold
oranges.
on, no, okay. So answer this question: if let's say Will smacked the shit out of Chris Rock fell and hit his head and died, would Jada,
Consequence.
would would Jada, would Jada be like, no, my man, I want to fight for my man, or just move on?
Once again, that's speculation. That's
No,
not
that's
that's
not.
it.
It.
But yes,
I'm
it
just.
is. Let's
I'm.
live in
I'm just
facts.
going to.
Let's live in the
I'm
facts of the
okay.
matter. So
Okay.
we're gonna
Let's do
live in the
facts.
facts of the matter. So
Name
that's
one
a
time.
stretch.
Okay.
But at
Let's.
the
No.
end of
No.
the
No.
day,
No. 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 It's not. Cause
but it is.
name one
It's a
time.
stretch because at the
Name
end
one
of the
time
day,
Jada
what
stood
we
up
need
for Will. Ever.
at the end of the day,
No.
all
No.
that
Answer the
issue to
question.
no, but no,
Name
because
one
I think
time
it's
Jada
irrelevant to what we're saying
stood
because
up
I don't
for
have history of
Will.
any of that.
Ever.
But when I'm sticking to the facts of this, that man has been told repeatedly since 2010, and I'm still going to keep reverting to that. It doesn't matter.
I
At that
understand
point,
all
when
that.
Will walked up on that stage, Will knew he was risking it all for what? But first of all, took a dig at my wife, and second of all, you clowned me in my face in front of millions. You clown me. Me as a man, you being a black man and me being a black man. You clowned me and you called me a bluff after we had this conversation, especially in 2020. And 2020, you did the same thing. So now you're calling me a bluff. So
But you know,
clearly,
it would have.
at that point, it doesn't even matter. At that point, when Will walked up on that stage, Will knew what he was risking
But
and he
this is
took
the
that
thing.
risk.
It would have meant. It would have meant more in Will's favor. Like, all he had to do is go up on that stage, whisper something in
Can't say
his
that
ear.
either
Hold on, hold on.
because people would have
I'm
had a
being
problem with
honest
him
because
walking
if
on the
he
stage.
no. Because even if they had a problem with him walking on the stage, they couldn't say shit. But he could have walked on the stage,
That's speculation.
whisper
We
in
don't
his
know that.
ear. Hold on, just listen to me. He could have walked up on the stage, whispered in his ear, and went and when he went and sat down and he formed and started talking about something else. People were like, "Yo, Will just went and punked him," because they knew he turned his whole trajectory and said, "Nah, you ain't gonna run that. Keep my family name out your fucking mouth." That's
But
all
see,
he had to
that's
say,
already
or otherwise. But this is the thing: all he had to do, boom. Now, if he would have kept going, right, even after he came to the stage and went back and he kept going with that joke, and he Will went back and smacked him, then I'll be like, "Yo, he just warned him right there."
what we need to find out is why is he heckling her and why you've been
It
doing
was
it for years. What is the reason?
because
What is the
they
hidden
approved with certain jokes.
no?
They gotta
What is
approve
the
with the
hidden
jokes.
reason why you was okay to do it, even though you know that you ain't had this conversation with this man? What in you thought it was cool to proceed? That's what we need to talk about. And why you've been
That's
doing it
true.
for years. What's the real reason why you're on that? Let's talk
Mm,
about that. Because all that is garbage. I don't care nothing about any of that. At the end of the day, I really don't like to talk about this conversation because people are so focused on one aspect of it and not on the aspect that they took a trophy ass nigga, excuse my mouth, to
mm.
belittle a woman. And that was
True,
normal. That's
and that's not
normal. That
normal.
was
It's
okay.
not normal.
But
Mm-mm.
actually, it is because you and I are talking as if it is. So that was
No,
okay. It was
I
okay
said
for
the
you to
whole
stand in front of
situation is
millions,
wrong
for you to stand in front of millions and tear down a woman that looks like you for jokes.
because he didn't when he was talking about the other couple, and I hate that he was talking about the other couple. He didn't say nothing about their look. Now, if he was talking about their looks, and then he went to Will and Jada and talked about their looks, then I would say he talking about everybody's looks. But
I
he
think
went
it's
from
sad.
them. What?
I
Go
think
ahead.
that's sad. I think it's sad that it took that they used him in that era and that you were
Mm.
okay with it. That's
I'm
sad to
not okay
me.
with that.
Not you. I'm talking about him,
Uh,
Chris Rock. You were okay with it and you
People
went
do
through
anything
with
for
it.
money and fame.
But here's that thing, as so that's why Dave Chappelle said what he says. Everything ain't funny, and everything don't have a dollar sign on it. Some
Mm-mm.
things you just have to say no to. Because if
Yep.
that would have been him or Kevin Hart, I think they would have counteracted that whole shit. It wouldn't have went
Yeah.
down that
But you
way.
you never you never hear. Let me tell you, you never hear Cat Williams, Dave Chappelle. You don't hear Kevin Hart. You don't hear a lot of them talk about um, putting down us. Like, it's certain jobs that they won't do. You get what I mean? Because that's their standard, and that's having standard. But they're also, but you gotta look at Chris Rock. Who's Chris Rock as a person? His best
Hey,
friends are. But look. This is the point I'm proving. Chris Rock's best friends aren't our people. It aren't people that look like him. Chris Rock's best friends are Caucasian. I mean, his best friend is Adam Sandler and a whole bunch of white people. So when you have the trophy nigga, right, get around a whole bunch of Caucasians or Asians or whatever, they think like the people that they're around. They don't think like us and what their moral aspect for.
Even
So
more
when they
reason why
go
his
and they be
ass
like,
got smacked.
so so then it's no longer, they think like, oh, people are people. No, no, it's not. Because what you're doing is you sat over there talking about this Caucasian couple about, oh, he better not win an award against his wife because he better give that award to Will, like as if Will didn't earn the award. You get what I mean? He needs charity, and then he goes and turn into the joke about Jada's hair, and it's like, why do we think that talking about our women hair, talking about our women's bodies, talking about our women looks, it's funny? Think about it. A lot of comedians talk about our women and think that it's funny because
Now
it's
we
not
got
allowed.
Caucasians doing it. We got other races, all other races in comments. I just watched an Indian stand up, an Indian man stand up, and it had him talking about black women hair.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah, exactly. Because we put up
But
with it. There's
that's
no
what I'm
standard.
saying. Let's agree to disagree. We can move on from this topic. At the end of the day, like I said,
Hell,
when he moved up on
in the
that
in the
stage, he knew
Grammys,
what the
the Grammys, and my thing about it is you sit up there and even with that, like that happened, whatever, whatever, whatever. But then when you're doing another white based award show, right? And then all of y'all jokes, all the brothers jokes, all the sisters jokes is tend to that one moment. That's you dragging that moment out. And you're not dragging it out because you want to drag it out. You dragging it out because they told you to. And oh, that would be funny. No, it's not. We
it's
need to
not.
stop sitting up there thinking that embarrassing moment for our people is funny. That it need to be dragged out because a person that don't look like you is telling you it's funny. We need to
But here,
stop accepting job offers. You
there it
know,
is.
when I don't care if it's in TV or movies that's degrading to your people. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Because that's not funny. A,
it's
bl- a
not.
a grown black man in a dress is not funny. So Tyler
Mm-mm.
Perry, none of that. Tyler Perry's movies was never funny to me, and
They were
the
funny to
reason
me.
why it's never funny to me is because for one, my grandmother don't act like that.
Mine
For
did.
two, you know what I'm saying? But
Sorry,
for two,
she did.
you sitting up here and you like, yo, you pushing this same false narrative that these Caucasians pushing and thinking that it's cool. You
It
giving us, and
wasn't
that's the
false.
one thing. It false narrative. Let's put it this way.
In
In the
your household,
1960s, hold on, no, 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 no. Let's put it this way. In the 1960s, did our people act like that? No. In the 1950s, 40s, 30s, our peoples were unified, right? So
what are
when
you talking
you
about?
take, when
I'm
I'm talking
confused
about
now.
families, I'm talking about
Hmm.
family,
Acting
right?
like who?
I'm not talking
Median?
about this modern day. I'm not talking about this modern day family crap. I'm talking
Uh,
about, so
mm,
when they do movies and things, they go in this modern day families as if we wasn't never unified, or yo, your next door neighbor is gonna beat your ass if you out there doing some bad shit, right? You get what I'm saying? And or now it's cool to for your mother to have sex with your damn son's friend.
they've been doing
Jada
that
did
for
that too,
years, though.
but that shit
They've been
weird.
doing that. Okay, but why we got to bring up her infidelity? What that has to do with
I'm
anything about her
I'm
being
I'm
happy
not
for the
just
way
put.
she looked?
No, we're not talking about. We're off of that. What I'm talking about is what the norm is now is because we are allowing this to be the norm. We're not sticking on of a person look. We're saying, yo, this the norm that they put in our TV shows, the norm that they put in our music. we need to get away from, because guess what? They're doing board meetings and saying, "Hey, this is funny,"
True.
and
True.
it's not healthy to our culture.
True.
It's not. It's not healthy to our women. It's not healthy to our men. And guess what? When you control what people listen to and what people watch, that is
Mm,
pushing a narrative that would then in turn become reality. And look how
mm,
we are right now. It became a reality. Our music
mm.
from the 90s, the late 90s, has became, look at our kids,
Our reality.
early
Mm,
2000. It is
mm.
our reality. So what
I
they
give you that.
push, we need to stop accepting that crap. When we sit up here and we realize something is not for us, we need to stop supporting it. I don't give a damn if nothing else on TV. Why are you
So you're
watching?
for the cancel culture then?
No, I'm for to take back our shit and have ownership. Stop canceling people that, oh, if people look like me, right? Stop getting out your feelings. Get out your feelings for one. That's a stop bullying each other for two. If you're going to be
Yeah.
a comedian, right? Be a comedian. Laugh
Mm,
about shit. You know what I'm saying? But don't sit over there and get in your feelings, like, because all jokes are not funny,
mm.
right? But another thing
Or
is,
received.
some it's
Hmm.
not. But then another
Hmm.
thing is there's a time and place for everything. My thing is
That was the
stop
time
getting
and that was
on,
the place.
but stop getting on our people just to make other ethnicities, you know, other races laugh. That
Yes.
shit is
Because
fucked up.
everybody jumped on a bandwagon. Everybody got opinions. Everybody's posting. Everybody doing skits. It's like it's so degrading. It's so
And,
degrading because you took away from what he did and why he did it, and just concentrate on what he did. And that's
mm,
why it's not fair. It's not fair at all. Now they want to talk about his mental health. What do you
yeah,
mean? You went from loving me, everybody loved me, I was the ideal, and then all of a sudden, because of a conversation, now I'm being mad at, targeted. Now my son is being targeted. Now my daughter is
but
being targeted. Now you're targeting my wife.
you ever notice when they would do something to us, or they would be the instrument for doing something to us, and then when we react, they say we got mental health issues.
And they've been doing that. They said that us not wanting to be slaves was a mental illness.
Hmm,
It's the same,
hmm,
it's the same scenario, and it's the same scenario that need to be canceled. So
hmm.
all that to say, yes, he's stressed out. Every time he turn around, he's a meme. Every time he turn around, it's a conversation. It's like he can't even live his life. How do you go from being that? And to be honest, let's look at the moves Will was trying to make behind the scenes that we don't know about, but they know about. Because you notice they always trying to cancel a person out, like they did Bill Cosby, when they
Hmm.
making major moves and they doing things they don't want them to do. So what they end
Right.
up doing, they position themselves to cancel themselves out.
Yep.
That's all
So,
that happened here. So we got to figure out what is it that Will was about to do. What was in
mm,
the makings? What moves Will was making that people was like, nah, we ain't having that. And now they're gonna try this trophy nigga to help him fall because you've been having trouble with him in the past. So we need you
right.
because we need him sunk. They've been trying to get rid of Will for years. They just never knew how. Because not only
So,
that,
what's your
not
final
only did
word?
we embrace him, huh?
What's your final word?
Oh, mind your business. Mind your business. It ain't got
Don't make
nothing to
this
do
about
with
me.
you. Shut up. Just shut up. You don't know what that man went through with this man. You don't know nothing. Okay. At the end of the day, what I'm saying is why follow the trend of cancel culture? Especially if it's somebody that you like. And when do they start dictating to us as a community, Nubian people, who we like and who we don't like when it's in our own community?
Mhm.
I think if we stop following that trend, this cancel culture would disappear. Because once again, this is their narrative. That's what they did to their people to control the norm, the mass. Why are we
Right.
following suit in that? I think that we need to
Hmm.
stop following council culture
Right.
and mind our own business.
That's true. True. My final words is I feel like people need to You need to first learn yourself, learn what you like, learn your dislike. Stop having people control you, and stop
Mm-hmm.
thinking that you can. You're too you're too woke to be controlled because all the woke people, you're being controlled. Understand
Facts.
and become present in the moment, every moment. When you're in the car and you realize the radio keep putting music, the same music on a loop, why are you listening to that radio station? Because whatever you listen to, whatever you watch, that's who you are. So if you sitting up there talking about no, I'm not loving hip hop, I'm not loving this and that, I'm not the Real Housewives, I'm not, whatever it is, right? That's who you are as an individual. Then you got to
Mm-hmm.
look at what you listen to and what you watch and
Mm-hmm.
see, are you implying that into your life subconsciously?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, when you think about that, and you be like, wait, I am. Let me stop. Let me get out of this because that's
Mm-hmm.
not good for me. We have
Mm-hmm.
to realize and be held common sense because there are Caucasians that's at the tippy top of our music company that we listen to music and they're being controlled. People can't just go and say, this is my art. Music don't work like that. They tell them what they want them to rap about. And guess what? Boom, they rap about it. Oh, you stay on the women, they on the drugs, they on the streets and shooting people. It's crazy that they will push rapping about killing people, us killing ourselves. Then when you sit up there and have songs about wealth and whatever, they would not push those songs.
At
When
all.
you have songs about coming together, they will not push those songs. That is called a narrative, people. And if they're
Mm-hmm.
pushing that narrative, we need to stop supporting it. We need in our culture to build a structure. And outside of that structure, we do not go. Outside of
Mm-hmm.
that structure, we do not support and we do not follow. Stop following people that mean no good for your people. Doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter if you're famous, doesn't matter if you sit up there and you just an average Joe. If they don't mean good for your people, that means they don't mean no good for you or your children. That's my final word. Thank you for watching.